How's it? Today's Monday, March 8th, and the sun's out. Well, it's not out right now. It was out when I was lifting today because today was the first day that the 4 p.m. session was brought back. So I no longer have to lift at 5:30. I think I'm probably going to end up lifting at 2:30 for most of the time that I'm lifting. So that's going to be fun. But I'm just doing an extension or continuation of what I did last week. So last week was 5 doubles, power snatch at 80. Those are all pretty easy. Today was 83 for the same 5 doubles. I did not do very well for the second reps of most of the sets. The first reps were really solid, but the second reps were just kind of all borderline except maybe two of them. Maybe like the third one and the fifth one. But audio with the shotgun in the back. I did not see that earlier. But this 60 power snatch it felt really solid. I was very happy with it, and I was optimistic. I wanted to actually do 85 today because I'm increasing my RDLs and my snatch deads by 5 as well. So I was like, okay, if I can just do 85 today, that would be more satisfying. But I stuck with what Steve mentioned to start off with 83 for the first two sets and see where I get to and see how it feels. So that first rep was okay. I'm a little bit uneven, kind of leaning to my right. And then that's very, very borderline. But what you can't see here is that the weights are actually coming off on the right side. So I end up putting the clip back on. And then I don't really get uneven for the rest of the session. But yeah, this was a little bit more challenging than I wanted it to be, so I stuck with 83 for all 5 sets. And I'm pretty happy I did because you can see there that that's like borderline power. I know Steve will say that it's okay because it's definitely not catching at rock bottom. So the rock bottom versus borderline power is a huge difference, right? That might be like 4 or 5 inches of depth that I am not relying on. So yeah, another thing about today was I was using the Uesaka competition bar, which I really, really, really like. I think it's the best bar they have here. That was definitely a power. I mean, of closer to full snatch. I was pretty disappointed in myself there. Here's my last set. That first rep was probably the best rep I did, I think, if not the third rep, or the third set, sorry. But yeah, pretty borderline. I wasn't sure if that was going to be a power or not. But yep, after that I moved into my snatch Romanian deadlifts. Last week was 90 for 3 threes. Today is 95 for 3 threes. This is a lot heavier than I expected it to be, especially on this first set. The next two were a lot better because I expected it to be a little bit challenging, you know. But yeah, I am pretty happy with how these look and how these felt, aside from that first one, of course. I don't know if I'm gonna actually be able to progress to 100 next week. We'll see what Steve says, and we'll see what he wants from me. But this is pretty taxing. I do like the way that it kind of forces me to tense up my upper back. After that, I did my snatch deadlifts. Again, 5 kilo increase from last week. So last week was 100 at 3 threes, and then today was 105 for 3 threes. These are a lot easier than the Romanian deadlifts are. I realistically can probably snatch deadlift for good technique for 3 triples, probably like 115. It's no big deal, I don't think. I'm just trying to maintain positions as I pull through the motion to kind of keep my upper back and my lower back, keep that angle the same as I push through the range of motion. After that, I move into my snatch push press plus overhead squat. I'm keeping it the same as my snatch deadlift. It's what I did last week, so just going for 105 today. I I think I misgrooved the overhead squat at the bottom of the hole. When I went to the bottom of the hole, it felt really solid. Felt like it was where it needed to be. Feels like where I wanted it to be. But as I started to push up, the weight pushed back, and then my wrist sort of took the brunt of all of that. This rep here at 100 was really solid for the overhead squat. You can see there. Really quickly. Here's my top set. The push presses were a little bit more difficult than I would have liked them to be, but I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. As far as like execution here, I'm really solid here, and then it pushes back, so then it pushes forward. That was a little hard. I'm back to doing pull-ups today. I think that my tattoo is probably towards the end of its healing, so I am going to be less limited with things that I'm doing. And then after that, I finished off with some GHD sit-ups. All in all, I think today was a good training session. I got hired for the job at Bisteca, so my hours are going to be kind of weird for training, but we'll see what happens moving forward. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to miss my standard strength Ohana, but I got to do what I got to do, right? Yep. Thanks for watching. Shoots!